Welcome to a new episode of This Woman Works. I am your host, Mike Patton. And on this episode, I will be talking to someone that I have known. Wow, it's been over, believe, 20 years now. Wow, long time. Time flies, right? Miss
Good.
Ebony Upshaw will be a guest on the show. How are you doing?
I am doing well this morning, Mike. How you doing today?
Doing great, doing great. We're going to get into your story, your journey on this episode. But before we do that, we start every show with the Black Girl Magic Moment, where we recognize, a moment or a person, just basically in terms of their Black excellence as a Black woman. And that person on this episode is Danielle McGee Gibson. Now, for those that aren't aware, she is here in the Nashville area, and she started a group basically when she moved here, called Black People Making Moves. And there's thousands upon thousands of people in that group. And she basically will post events, post different topics, things like that as well in that group, connecting thousands upon thousands of people, not only here in Nashville, but people that are moving here to Nashville as well. People needing what mechanics, places to eat, all those different things. She posted that great information as well. And also, she is the CEO of Black Business Boom, which is huge because she brings people on that, people may not know, to give information about, different businesses or different, things in business. She gives out information about grants. I mean, she just basically talks about how, getting secure funds. She is basically a person that is greatly, greatly needed in the Black community. And I wanted to honor her and actually give her props and show her some love in the Black Girl Magic moment for this episode. Now, Ebony, I'm pretty sure you may have come across Danielle at one point, or the Black Business or the Black People Making Moves group. You have any thoughts on what she has created and is still creating right now?
I absolutely love the platform. Um, I have not seen that level of unity to help out um, Black entrepreneurs and business owners and just the community as a whole. That's one of the things that actually drew me to the group when I found out about it. I found out about it through a couple of friends of mine who live here, and they were like, "You need to get in this group. You can network. You can meet so many different people that are in your field and in other fields as well." And just to see, like I said, the level of unity and togetherness that she has brought with so many people that's a part of the group is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. So kudos to her. She's doing an amazing job. I have not met her personally yet, but I do look forward to meeting her. But she has done and is doing a great, great job with it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And props to her too, because that's how I found my loctician in the group. Like literally,
Mhm.
like I don't know how many years ago now at this point, like 3+ years ago. That's how I found my loctician, because it started out Twist. My the same person did those, and my same loctician has been around since the beginning of starting my locks. So, definitely thank you to that group as well, and to Danielle McGee Gibson. But of course, we got you on the show. So we want to celebrate you as well. So we kind of want to, tell everyone about your journey. This is what this show is about, kind of talking about you, celebrating you, and kind of bringing everyone along on your journey from where you started to where you are. And what better place now, where did you grow up?
So I actually grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. I
Okay.
am a native Memphian. Grew up in South Memphis. My mother was a Memphis City Schools is what we called it back in the day. Memphis City Schools, Shelby County Schools educator. She worked with special needs children, and my father worked for a warehouse for the Kroger warehouse, and so we grew up. right there in South Memphis, Tennessee, and graduated from Booker T. Washington High School, class of 2001. And I know some of my other classmates or other people that I have that went to Memphis High School. So, if you know about the camaraderie between high schools, you always say your high school is better than the other one. So, uh, graduated from there 2001. I know some of my friends are going to highly disagree with that, but I am a native Memphian, all things Memphis. I love Memphis. Memphis is a great city, despite what people see on social media and on the news and all of that. Memphis is a great city to grow up in and to live in.
Now, I will say this: when I went to UT Martin, you know, certain Memphians didn't necessarily make me feel at home up there. They definitely the first thing I remember being said to me, I will not mention her name on air, but we still cool. Don't get twisted. I'm cool with this person. But she used to always say to me, Nastyville, and then walk off. And I was like, okay, what just happened here? What just happened? I had no idea what was going on. I was like, well, I guess Memphis does not like Nashville for some reason. But but there is some of that sense of Memphis. I have got the sense of that some Memphians, in terms of Nashville, feel like Memphis should be the capital city as opposed to Nashville. So I've definitely get some of the angst that comes towards Nashville when it comes to
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that.
we've always said that Memphis is not even a part of Tennessee, so it's just like it's Memphis and everybody and everybody else. So, yeah, I remember those times of coming to UT Martin, which is actually where we met, and coming to UT Martin and seeing the different arguments about where everybody was from Tennessee, and of course, even us as Memphians, when people heard, "Oh, you from Memphis?" That's the killer capital. That's so many other things that were said about Memphis, but we ended up gaining so many friendships and so many relationships from that time there. So yeah, it was interesting.
Very, very much. Very, very interesting. So, um, I got to ask, of course, everyone says they grew up in North Memphis, they grew up in East Memphis, wherever. Okay, specifically growing up in South Memphis, how was it growing up there?
So growing up in South Memphis, and I have to preface by saying this: South Memphis is kind of like there are different parts to South Memphis, and so the particular part of South Memphis that I grew up in was like Mississippi Boulevard, Macklemore. The street that we grew up on was Edith Avenue. So we had like a lot of we were actually closer to Lamorne Gardens, where Lamorne Oncology is. So we were within walking distance of Lamorne on College. And so even on the street that I grew up on, everybody on my street worked. Um, the house on the left of us, that particular couple, they were an older couple, but they were retired teachers. The house on the left of them, which actually where the Pippin family, we considered them our grandparents. We called them granddaddy and grandmama Pippin. Granddaddy Pippin was a pharmacist. He was actually a black pharmacist, a licensed pharmacist in South Memphis. And then his wife, Harriet, she was a school teacher. A lady that lived across the street from us, her husband worked for the post office. The lady that lived next door to us, she was an executive secretary for MLG and W. We had postmen other postmen and people that worked for the post office who worked on our street. So we had a lot of good people who believed in going to work and believed in looking out for us as little kids growing up in South Memphis. Of course, we had times where um, there was some violence that happened, but there also were particular streets that the drug dealers knew not to come down because they actually had respect for the people that lived on the street. And so I grew up around a lot of love. Even some of the neighbors that we had growing up, we are still connected to quite a few of them. A lot of us have moved out of the neighborhood, but we are still connected to a lot of those families, and we consider them family as well. And even going to Booker T. Washington, my first year there, and this is a funny story. My first year at BTW, I did not want to go to BTW. Like, me and my mom like fought in a good way. Um, I had to end up going back to my neighborhood school because with her working with the school system, she was able to transfer us out to different schools, to be closer to where she was. So I went to Evans Elementary School, which is on like kind of like what we consider East Memphis back in the day. I went to Evans and then I went to Wooddale Middle School. But my high school years, I had to go to my neighborhood school, and I did not want to go to BTW. I heard so many horror stories. And I know you've seen the movie Lean on Me. Everybody was saying BTW is like, the real version of East Side High. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to BTW. I wanted to go to Overton because of the music program, because I know how to sing or whatever. And my mom was like, she said, well, baby girl, she's like, you have to go. And I was like, I don't want to go. So when I went to BTW my ninth grade year, I only knew two people. One of my best friends, who's still one of my best friends today, Tiffany Banks. We grew up at the same church, and I knew the music director, the late Miss Deborah Davis, one of the most amazing music directors and choir directors ever in life. Those were the only two people that I knew. And I remember walking. My dad dropped me off, which I believe he's watching. My dad went to drop me off the first day of school, and I just sat in the truck, and he was like, "Baby, you got to get out the truck." And I was like, "I don't want to get out the truck." And I remember walking up to the front door, and like people, the kids were standing out there and looking like, who is she? Where she come from? And I literally remember the first day I went and found my homeroom and just sat at my desk, and two people who I'm still friends with today, Erica Williams and Toya Wagner, Richards Wagner, started talking to me. And from that day until the day I graduated, May 26, 2001, those were some of the best 4 years of high school of my entire life. And I don't regret, even though I didn't have a choice, but I don't regret having those moments and having that time at BTW. So I am proud to say I grew up in South Memphis. I grew up with around, like I said, some caring neighbors. I made some amazing friends and amazing relationships. I had some great teachers. Was afforded so many opportunities to do some things through FedEx growing up in high school, and so it was a really, really good time. It was a really, really good time.
Nice, nice. Now, of course, we all have something we wanted to be growing up. I wanted to be a professional football player. As you see, I am not a professional football player, nor did I ever make it to that level. Oh, by the way, we do have a couple people that stopped through the This Woman Works inbox. Of course, we got Mr. Byron Harvey, Yelling Ebony,
Yeah.
and we have Janae Danielle. Is that
Janae.
how you say it?
Mhm.
Janae. I'm sorry,
Janae.
but
Yeah.
she's saying hey as well to you.
Hey,
But
sister.
before we kind of take a quick commercial break, I wanted to ask, we all have one thing. Like I mentioned, I wanted to be a professional athlete. I did not make it, nor did I get, well, I made it to college, so I'll say that one. But other
Mhm.
than that, didn't make it, didn't even make it into anybody's camp, and nor probably should have. I have. But um what was one of the first things you wanted to be growing up?
I actually wanted to be a dentist.
Ha.
I wanted to be a dentist, and that actually came from the dentist that my family grew up going to. He's retired now. His name is James Sexton, and I believe his son Jimmy Sexton is in like the sports arena
Sports
as a
agent.
sports agent. Yep, it's him. And
Hmm.
so Dr. Sexton was our dentist growing up. He literally cleaned our whole family. Like he was, a part of our family. He still is. I just love the way he cared for his patients. Just, a really, really nice man. The staff was, just really, really good people. And of course, when I found out how much money they made, I was like, oh, I think I want to be a dentist. And I remember my first year in Martin, and when I looked at all the coursework that I had to take, I said, "Yeah, I don't think this is for me." Because that
Yeah.
coursework and those science classes and learning all those medical, the terminology and all of that, I said, "Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work for me." So yeah, that's actually what I wanted to be initially. What was a dentist?
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I hear you there. I hear you there. Yeah, yeah. I'd have been scared of you because I do go to the dentist, but I did have a root canal done once, and I asked them to knock me out, and they basically said they would not do so. So I had to feel kind of the drilling. It was numb in my mouth, of course. So
Ooh,
I didn't really feel like everything. It was numb, but
mm-mm.
you feel the vibrations of them all in your
Yeah,
mouth, and that just
mm-mm. That's too much.
I was like, ugh. But we're going to transition to something a little bit better. We're going to talk about your career and what you do. And we're going to find out about that on the other side of the commercial break on This Woman Works.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are two of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized and soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off all these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get this EBO, the EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
All right. And we are back on This Woman Works and with my special guest, Ebony Upshaw. Now, of course, I answer this every show, and people probably watching this trying to figure out why does he have a beard wash and beard treatment commercial on This Woman Works. Yes, there are not, I know there are not women out here running around with beards. I know this. But what I will say is the reason why that is on here is because, of course, we as men do not really take care of ourselves greatly all the time. We worry a lot about everybody else,
Mhm.
but not ourselves. So why not have that commercial on a show about Black women? Because Black women will tell us, hey, you need that right. You need this right.
Absolutely.
You need to go this place right. You need to go
Mhm.
to the doctor right. You need to go this. Yeah. So that is why that commercial is on this show. I mean, I explain. I have fun explaining that literally like every episode. It is fun. But getting back into the show, of course, we got to talk about your career. And for those that don't know, can you please tell them what you do?
So I am a certified chef and I am a caterer. The name of my company is Order Up Catering and Personal Chef Services.
Okay. All right. All right. So for those that are listening, yes, Emily is mean in the kitchen. She is mean in the kitchen. So can you tell everyone how you first got into your interest kind of peaked on getting into, being a chef and diving into the culinary arts?
So I actually, and I love to tell this story because people ask me this all the time, like, how did I get, how did I want to start cooking, my love for cooking and diving into culinary arts. I grew up around a family of cooks on both sides of my family. My mother was an amazing cook. She didn't like to cook, but the girl could cook. Okay. She was amazing. My grandmother, my mom's mom, Elnora Shigag, whom I love and I honor. I honor both of them, my mom and my grandmother. Um, we have a lasting joke with our family. My grandmother, when Thanksgiving came around, had to make at least six sweet potato pies because
Wow.
nobody could cook a sweet potato pie like that lady. And so a couple of my mom's sisters could cook. My dad had three or four brothers who were amazing cooks. One, his oldest brother, was in the army and ended up being living in Louisiana. Made some of the best gumbo you ever want to have in your life. He had another brother who had a restaurant in Utica, New York. He was an amazing cooking chef. I have another uncle that lives in Mississippi now. He's amazing on the grill. He was an executive chef for one of the Marriott hotels in Memphis for years. And so even with my siblings and I, all three of us can cook. My sister can cook. My brother is amazing on the grill. He does a lot of grill things. My sister is an even better baker. And I'm just kind of like, the well-rounded one. I kind of know how to do it all. And so it's just really in my DNA. It's in my blood to do. And so I actually cooked my first meal when I was 13. I had been watching, my mom and my grandmother and my aunts, whatever. And this particular summer, it was the summer of '96, and my mother had to go into the hospital to have surgery. And so she was really down for the entire summer. And so, people come by, they bring you food, they bring you groceries and stuff. And so I was just like, okay, so we got to eat, what am I going to do? And I remember watching her and watching them, do different types of foods. And so I did fried chicken, I did spaghetti, and I did green beans for the very first time.
Okay.
And it actually came out really, really good. And I remember calling my mom at the hospital. I said, Mom, I fried some chicken. She said, who fried chicken? I said, you did it by yourself? And I said, yeah, Mom, I did it by myself. And just from that time until now, I have developed a love for the culinary arts. I actually, like I said, we were in Martin together and just trying to I had changed my major, I think about 4 or 5 times. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And so one particular night, some of us had been to, and I don't know if you remember being able to go over to Kentucky, to Paducah, to get groceries at Walmart. And
Yep.
so we had went over there because it was cheaper to get the groceries in Paducah than it was in Tennessee. And so we went over, and one of my friends was like, you ought to, cook us, dinner one Sunday. So did dinner for everybody, and everybody kept saying, Ebony, you need to open up your own business because this food is good. And I just, I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, well, y'all, I just, I like to cook. I love to cook. I love to see people happy through cooking. Because to me, that's like one of my love languages, to cook for people and to see them enjoy, what I've done. And so a few more years had went by, and my best friend, Crystal Banks, had told me, she said, I think you need to enroll to go to culinary school. And I was like, I don't know about that. I just love what I do. And end up seeing a commercial one day from L'Ecole Culinaire in Memphis. And I said, I think I want to, check it out. So went for a tour of the school, loved the curriculum, loved what the instructors were doing. It's definitely a male-dominated field, but I love the fact that when I got there, the instructors that we had did not have that particular mind frame, that mind frame to just let men lead. Like they were on the train about women getting in the kitchen and handling their business. And so fast forward, I graduated from culinary school August of 2014, almost 10 years. So graduated with honors and immediately went into the workforce. I started at the University of Memphis in the catering department. And I've been, I was a part of an opening for a restaurant in, I want to say 2015, 2016 in Memphis called Scoops. I was the executive chef there, and I've worked with other restaurants. I worked with the late Gary Williams, Deja Vu restaurant in Memphis. I was one of his sous chefs and prep chefs. And even with my own business, I just started out baking cakes and pies just to make extra money. And started that in 2007 and officially went over to the Order Up catering and personal chef services about 12 or 13 years ago. So I have catered weddings, I've catered baby showers. I have helped with even repasses for funerals, just, whatever, Father's Day brunches, different things like that. And so that's the long short story about how I got started with the culinary field. And I absolutely love what I do. I love to cook and I love to make people happy through cooking.
Definitely sounds like it. For sure, for sure. Now, I've got to ask, you did say, someone mentioned in the comments, you did say summer of 96, not to be confused with saying summer of 96. You said summer of
Summer.
96, as Sierra Johnson pointed out through the This Woman Works inbox. But the first thing I think about when I think of that song, I think of like a 3 6 Mafia song, the summer. The summer. I think of that. That's the first thing I'm started thinking about. I'm like, oh man, we going to like 3 6 Mafia real quick. But yeah, that yeah, definitely, things can be birthed from situations or that life provides it. It sounds like that your joy in terms of cooking was provided, in a situation where necessity, kind of reared its head.
Yeah,
So it always is a great thing when a blessing comes about when necessity happens, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. I do have to ask though, um, you know, when did you first know that this was really the career for you though? Because I know that you went to culinary school and you talked about how you enjoyed cooking and seeing people happy when they were eating and things like that. But when did you first know that this path was for you?
That's a really good question. Um, I think I knew when it was for me when my mother validated me. If anybody knows me, they know that, and I'm gonna try not to get emotional talking about my mother, but she was like my biggest supporter. Excuse me, she was one of my biggest supporters, one of my biggest critics too, because of older people, they have their way,
Mhm.
of cooking and their way of doing it. And me and her would have several conversations about how I would, cook macaroni and cheese or how I would do lasagna or anything like that. And one particular year, it actually was Thanksgiving. And I want to say it may have been the year before I enrolled into culinary school. And so her hours were kind of crazy with work. And so she asked me, she said, "Do you think you can handle doing Thanksgiving dinner this year by yourself?" And I said, uh-uh. Like, we do this together, girl. Like, what are you talking about? She said, well, it's some things going on at work. She was like, and I gotta, she said, I'm not working Thanksgiving, but I have to work the night before. She said, so I know I won't be able to do everything. She said, but if you could just handle the bulk of it, and I'll take care of the rest. And I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, like, so the whole thing is on me, like the turkey, the dressing, the giblet gravy, all of the, components that make Thanksgiving, like it was on me. And so she ended up coming in the next day and I said, well, I gotta do what I gotta do. Here we go. And did the full meal by myself. She came in. She actually has a recipe that I actually just found about a few months ago of her yeast rolls. And so
Mhm.
she came in and did the yeast rolls. And I was not a pro at doing gravy, so I left it to her. So she did all of that. And I remember her sitting down to eat and telling me, she said, girl, if you don't ever cook again, you cook this year. And so just to hear that validation from my mom and to know that, okay, if my mama say I can cook, yeah, I cook. So that's what made me say, yeah, I think I can do this as a career and do it full time.
All right. Well, that definitely was a great background story on your journey to where you are now. But of course, there always are some hard times that come about when it comes to your career journey. We all have experienced them, but
Mhm.
we're going to go over those in just a second. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back on This Woman Works.
A shift. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business.
All right, and we are back on This Woman Works with Miss Ebony Upshaw. Now, I want to go over, there's always great times in business and great fun in, you know, your career, but there's always some hard times that happen. Now, before I get into that, I do have a message that hit the This Woman Works inbox. That's for you. Yeah, Mr. Samuel Upshaw, you are making Dad proud. Love you, baby. Wow.
Thank you,
You
Daddy. I
said he
love
was
you too.
watching.
He did. And you're not gonna make me cry either, so stop.
All right. So, of course, there are always hard times that come about in anybody's journey towards their career. And, you know, there's always people coming behind you that need that assurance or help as well, or to hear of those times. So can you kind of tell me about a hardship that happened along your ride to becoming this wonderful chef that you are?
Ooh, I got stories for days for this. Um, I would say one of the hardships that I endured, and I would also say it was a mistake, if I can say that word. One of the
Mhm.
hardships that I endured was um, being available for so many people, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. And as you know, too, as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, our money isn't good money.
This
And
is true.
so, starting out, you want to get your name out there. You want people to know who you are. You want them to, have that particular experience and all of that stuff. And I remember taking on a catering job that was just way too big for me to take on. And I was advised not to do it. But I was hard headed. And this isn't, my starting out. Um, the venue that where it was just did not wasn't I was not equipped to handle that particular event. And I just remember the day of just kind of sitting and thinking like, yeah, I got myself way into more than what I thought I was going to do. And I remember calling and she's actually still one of my chef mentors, Shakina Bugs. And I remember calling her the day of and saying, hey, yeah, I took this catering event on and I do not have what I need. I'm gonna have to back out. And we were on the phone and she told me, she said, well, first of all, they've already paid you. You cannot back out. So you got to figure out what you gonna do. And I did not know what to do. And so she started asking me questions, where is it? What's going on? What do you need? Blah, 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 all of that. probably not within maybe a couple of hours, um, she had made some phone calls and said, "Okay, go here, pick this up. Go over here, pick this up. These people are going to meet you at the venue at this particular time. They're going to take care of setup. They're going to take care of this. They're going to take care of that." And it went off without a hitch, even though I should not have taken it on at all. I had somebody that I could call to help. Now, when the event was over, she let me have it because, like, now why did you take this event on knowing that you didn't have, what you needed? And me being so eager, to get into the game, like I said, to get people to know who I was, and all of that. The cooking part wasn't the issue; it was the execution. And so, one of the things that I have learned is that you have to master both. You can't have one is up here, your cooking or your execution is up here, or your execute, and then the other one is down here. There has to be a balance. And also too, what I had to learn was to ask for help. There was no way that I could have done all of what I had to do by myself. I had to develop a team of people to help do everything that I needed to do. And so I learned execution. I had the cooking part down, but I had to learn execution, and I had to learn to take on what I could until I got to where I needed to be, where I could do, that type of event, on a major scale. So yeah, learning earlier on that I was not ready for certain things, that helped me out a lot. I took on what I could, and then when I got to a certain place, I could take on more. So that definitely would be my advice to anybody that wants to get into the culinary game. If you're not ready to take on the big contracts, the corporate contracts, it's okay to stay low until you got everything figured out, because all it takes is one Facebook post or one text message or one phone call, and your name is unfortunately put out there for the wrong reason. And so, which that has happened to me before. But thankfully, I was able to grow from it, and I learned from it, and I've been so much better since then.
Got you, got you, got you. Yeah, I was going to ask you how you overcame it, but it sounds like you had a great mentor to help you along the way.
Yes, Shakina Bugs is one of the, and she actually was on a season of Hell's Kitchen, and
Oh,
so
okay.
yes, she's literally one of the best chefs that I have as one of my mentors. She's amazing. She doesn't gatekeep. Some people gatekeep, which I don't understand the whole gatekeeping thing or whatever. But she doesn't gatekeep. Whatever information that I need to know about anything in the culinary game, I can text her or call her, and she keeps me abreast of it all. So shout out to her. I don't know if she's watching or not, but shout out to Shakina Bugs in Memphis for being just an amazing mentor and an amazing person to me. I love her dearly.
Well, we'll say this. You did give a little bit of advice, but I know that Shakina, right?
Hmm.
Okay. I know that Shakina, that wasn't the first bit of advice that you received in terms of entering the culinary game. So, what is the most important advice that you have ever received in the culinary game?
So I actually have two answers for that. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. So the first one is to always have a contract.
Oh, yeah, definitely got to have
Always
that.
everything has to be on paper, because people will promise to pay you and you will never see their money,
Hmm.
or they will take their time paying you, and then complain about the product. So to be clear and to keep yourself safe, contracts are imperative to have when you are out here in these entrepreneurial streets, because people will take advantage of your craft, and they also forget that this is the way you live. This is your
Hmm.
livelihood. Some of us do it full time, and then some of us do have a 9 to 5, and we're, full time entrepreneurs. And so people they'll try to, take advantage of you.
Hmm.
The other important thing that I have learned is that serve the type of quality of food that you would serve your family.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that you would not serve your own family or people that you love and hold dear a certain type of quality of food, don't serve it to your guests.
Right.
And don't serve it because you feel like that's the easy way out. Do it to the best of your ability. Do it because this is what you love to do. And like I said earlier, I love to cook anyway, so I love to see the reaction of people when they do eat my food. And I think one of the highlights for me is to see people come back to the buffet table for seconds. Because if they
Gotcha.
come back to the buffet table for seconds, you have done your job and you have done it well. And so I always believe in serving people what I would eat myself, because I don't like bland food. I love good food. I'm from Memphis, so I just use it as an example. Memphis is, one of the capitals of barbecue. And so, you honestly, because people ask all the time, well, Ebony, what's a good place to go get barbecue from in Memphis? And honestly, I don't say a restaurant, even though there are good restaurants in Memphis for barbecue. Really, some of the best barbecue is in somebody's backyard, somebody's
Okay.
uncle, or somebody's, brother, sister, or whatever. Like, that's some of the best barbecue to ever have. And so I believe in serving my guests and my customers the best of what I have to offer them. And so those are two of the main things that I would give advice about.
Now, I was gonna say over there off Danny Thomas, there's a certain place over there that definitely does some good barbecue. But and then also I would also say that people can become Kaiser Sose when it comes to paying their money on time. Now, if you don't know who Kaiser Sose is, you need to look up the movie Usual Suspects and
Mhm.
Kevin Spacey and the role he played in that movie, because he poof
Mhm.
and disappeared when it came time for them to charge him. So yeah. So yeah, people can't disappear like Kaiser Sose. That's
No,
all I can
absolutely
say.
not. Absolutely not.
All right. All right. So we have reached the end of the show, but it's not over yet though. We do have the speed round. We got 10 questions. Of course, these are random questions. They could come from anywhere, be about anything. Are you ready? It's gonna help people to get to know you, by the way.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Your favorite song right now.
Oh, my favorite song. Oh, my daddy on here, so I don't want him to be offended. Uh, it's actually not a gospel song. It's actually a song from this girl named Mahalia. It's Not Me, It's You.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Huh.
what that the groove to this song is like everything. I really, really like this song.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Best movie you've ever watched.
Best movie I have ever watched. I'm going to say Money Talks.
Okay. Huh. I
That
hadn't
is
heard that
literally
one.
like one of my top 10 favorite movies. Like, I can watch Money Talks all the time.
Okay. All right. What's the worst movie you've ever watched?
Ooh, the worst movie I have ever watched.
That's a tough question for
That's
everybody.
tough. Well, you know what? I didn't like the last so The Lion King. I love the
Hmm.
original Lion King. The last one that they did like 2 years ago,
Uh-huh.
I didn't really like that one. It looked like they had like the live animals in it or whatever. I
Hmm.
didn't like that. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, sometimes it be doing too much.
Yeah, like, just the original was perfect. Like, let's just stick with the original. We good.
All right. Quick question for you. Who would play you in a biopic?
Oh, wait. Oh, wow.
This one gets everybody.
Oh, so it's okay. So it's actually a split. I would
Okay.
say it'll be a split between Queen Latifah and
Okay.
Lizzo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Huh. Okay. All
Queen
right.
Latifah and
Okay.
Lizzo. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Um, your favorite food spot
My
outside of you cooking, of course,
my
obviously.
Okay, so I gotta go back to Memphis. My favorite food spot in Memphis is a place called Coletta's Pizza. Coletta's has
Mm-hmm.
been around. An Italian family that owns it, and Coletta's has this pizza called Around the World. Oh my gosh! When I tell you that pizza is amazing, that's probably my favorite food place. Even when I go home, I have to go back Coletta's and get that pizza every time.
I think I'm I think I'm going off Danny Thomas. But, I just gotta go there in the daytime though. You can't go there at night
Oh
over
no!
there at the barbecue spot. No.
Are you talking about is it Cozy Corner?
I can't remember what barbecue place it is, or ribs or something. I can't remember the name now. My
I
dad
think
is
I
going.
think it may be I think it may be Cozy Corner because that's not far from St. Jude.
Yep, yep. That's it.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say if I don't remember that, I'm gonna have some family members mad at me. But best vacation spot.
Oh wait, best vacation spot. So I have not been, but I am going to go. I want to go to
Mhm.
Aruba.
Ah, okay. All
I want
right.
to go to Aruba. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though. Went to Toronto during the summer. Oh, it is awesome. Going to
Heard
Toronto
that.
during the summer.
Yeah, I heard Toronto is really really good.
The little Italy festival is 20 blocks of
Ooh.
people just outside dancing, hanging together, singing.
Oh wow.
It
I
was
gotta
it
check
was
that out.
incredible. It was incredible. Let's see. Best UT Martin memory.
Oh wow. So many UT Martin
Now,
memories.
now I will say in some of these stories, I don't know, whatever story you say, I don't know if you want to bring out names or not
Um,
bring out names. So, I'm always careful about doing that when I say any UT Martin stories.
so I would say the best UT Martin memory that I have was when 112 came and did a concert.
I did not get to go to that
You
one.
didn't go to, so yeah, 112 came. It was 112, and I cannot remember the name of the rap group that came, but they had just came out. But I can't remember the name of the group. It was like a bunch of them. And
Mm-hmm,
112 came to the campus to do
mm-hmm,
a concert, and that's probably one of my most favorite because I think that was my first R&B concert that I had
mm-hmm,
ever went to. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Now my second memory, I don't know if you remember this, the water
mm-hmm.
balloon fight between McCord and Oster P.
Oh, I heard about that, but I
That
was playing football, so I ain't get a chance to do all that stuff till I graduate, till I got through with my eligibility. Then
yeah,
when I basically played all my years, and then I could see more stuff and be around more stuff, but I
right.
missed that one. I missed the concert because that was homecoming week, and coach had us on lockdown, being in the room at a
Oh
certain amount of
man.
time, so we
Oh
couldn't go to the
wow.
concert. Yeah, we couldn't
Wow.
go to the concert. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
that
lot of
water
stuff I
balloon fight
missed.
was legendary. It was
I
fun.
still remember I don't know if you remember, but after a couple parties, there was one basketball player that he got hit or something like that in a couple parties back to back.
Oh wow.
So, and it stopped the party because he was trying to fight back.
Oh
So
my
it ended up
goodness.
stopping the party. And I still remember it was I don't know why I went with this, but I did. It was like maybe 5 or 6 of us. It was like football players and basketball players walking over to Austin P. And it was like all of Austin P was outside. So it was Austin P versus us. And I was like,
Ooh.
Lord. But the guy that hit him didn't come outside or something, and they couldn't find. I don't know what happened, but I'm so glad we did not get into anything that night because we were severely outnumbered.
Wow.
Severely outnumbered that night. Lord,
Yeah,
I
those
can
were
go
some
into
good
so many
times in
stories
Martin.
about Martin.
So many good stories.
Lord, I still remember when the Kappas put me on there. This was after I had finished playing football. They put me on their little dating show. Um,
Really?
Yeah, I was on the dating show with the Kappas up there. It's after I finished playing football. I had like cut off my hair. Actually tried to dress up for classes now.
Mhm.
But yeah, I went on that show and I was the first one dismissed off the show. I remember that. I won't give the whole rest of the story. I'll tell you that off air. But
I like-
yeah, I said something, and apparently I said something in my exit interview, and apparently people were looking for me. But it wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't in a bad way.
Oh, okay. I was like,
But
wait a minute,
I have
what
to tell
did
you
you
about that
say?
off air. But yeah, but I done got all off track of the show. Good gracious. But all right, let's go back to the questions. Favorite actress?
Favorite actress, I would say Angela Bassett.
Oh yeah, I definitely watch
Yeah.
Now I'm on One Faithfully. Mhm.
Yes. Yep. I
Yep.
love Angela Bassett. She is amazing.
Biggest guilty pleasure?
Oh, wait. Biggest guilty pleasure. I would say chocolate chip cookies.
I hear you
Something that
there.
I don't need, but hey, I love me a good chocolate chip cookie.
Okay. And last one, favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show. So this one is a split too, because I'm an 80s, 90s girl. I'm
Hmm.
going to say the Cosby Show in a different world.
Okay.
I
You know
can
I'm mad
literally
at you, right?
I
You know I'm
can
mad at
I
you.
can watch those all day, every day. And of course, now being older, going
Hmm.
back and watching some of those episodes, it's almost like they're even funnier now than when they were when we were when we were kids. And even the
Hmm.
lessons and things that were talked about in a lot of those episodes are still relevant today. So I know a lot of people
Hmm.
don't like to give him his due. I may get canceled or whatever, but shout out to Bill Cosby because he was a genius. And Debbie Allen for being the directors and producers of that show. I love the how we were represented in those shows,
Hmm.
as well as intelligent Black people, African American people. So yeah, Cosby Show and A Different World, hands down.
Now, Different World made a lot of black folks want to go to college for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just knew I was going to Hillman. I knew it. I knew I was. My mom was like, "Baby, Hillman does not exist." I said, "Yes, it does." I said, "Why did Willie Gilbert go there? I want to go." And she was like, "Baby, Hillman doesn't exist." She's like, "You can't go there. It doesn't exist." And I got older. I said, "Oh, Hillman really doesn't exist." Okay, so,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Now, I do got a bone to pick with you though. That is the end of the questions, but I got a bone to pick with you though. You mentioned the Cosby Show, and you mentioned A Different World. Now I know there was a couple other shows in the '90s that you done skipped right on over, man. And one of the shows I'm gonna bring up that would be Martin. How we gonna skip over Martin like that? No, no, Sinead. You got Don't You Know No Good out there singing, fixing cars. You got Bro Man from the fifth floor.
from
Hold up,
the fifth
boy.
floor.
I mean, yeah, Martin. Oh, that was too funny. And then you got Tommy talking about his job and knowing he ain't got no job.
And nobody
Yeah,
still knew what Tommy did.
Cole
Nobody knew.
Cole messing around talking about random spoons. And
So that
yeah.
was my favorite episode. Like that episode right there where he
Oh,
kept
yeah,
saying,
me too.
like I literally I screamed laughing like it's my first time watching that episode every single time. Like that
Mhm.
episode right there was so funny. Marty
That
Mars,
one,
meatloaf and waffles. That was
yeah.
crazy.
We're gonna take over the world. We're gonna take over the that one. And I gotta say, what was the other episode that had me just dying laughing? Oh, you remember where he started going to the exercise class, took over the exercise
Yes.
class? Lift that so touch mine will never let's that touch swine will
Would never
never
touch
touch
mine.
mine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was Martin. I didn't really appreciate Martin until I got older.
Mhm.
So yeah, I watch it. I frequently watch it now. And then the episode when Cole finally broke up with Big Shirley,
Oh yeah.
he was inconsolable. I was like, Lord, I said him and Big Shirley had been together for years, and I'm like, they finally broke up. But
Hmm.
yeah, I like my and I will give an honorable mention to Living Single.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say we got to throw Living Single in there.
Yep.
Lord, one of my cousins couldn't pronounce Living Single when she was a kid when it came out. She was
Mhm.
young. She used to say lingo singo, lingo singo, lingo singo.
Yeah, Living Single is definitely one of my favorites. Erica Alexander, who played Maxine Shaw, like that's my
Mhm.
favorite character
And she was
on that
supposed to
show.
not be a part of the show. They were supposed
Yeah,
to
she
actually literally
wasn't.
write her out.
Yeah, they were actually
Yeah.
going to write her out because they said that her character was too strong. And
Hmm.
so she was actually supposed to live in the brownstone with everybody else, but they put her across the street.
Right. Yeah, that was
Crazy.
doing the most.
Yeah,
Doing the
that's
most. And then
crazy.
they, then they wrote TK Carter out the show.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he was fighting to get the same pay for them that they were
Hmm.
giving Friends on NBC,
Right.
which is actually where Friends got the, they stole the idea,
Hmm.
from Living Single. So, and I even looked at a couple of episodes of Friends, and I was like, this is just this is Living Single. Like,
Hmm.
come on, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that is the end of the speed round. That is the end of the show. Miss Ebony Upshaw, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Can you please tell everyone where they can find you on social media, where they can find your business as well, and any other things you would like to tell everyone?
Well, I am on Facebook. My personal page is under my name, Ebony Upshaw. My catering page is Order Up Catering and Personal Chef Services. That can be found on Facebook as well. I am also on Instagram under the name Chef Ebony _01. And so anything culinary related, catering related, you could just hit my inbox. I will definitely respond. And anything else y'all want to know about me, y'all can find it there.
Well, there we have it. There we have it. Of course, I'm the host of the show, Mike Patton. This Woman Works is the platform, of course, where we honor, celebrate, and uplift Black women. Of course, you can find this show on the Mike Patton Network on YouTube. Just look up Mike Patton Network. You got a show there. And I would got This Woman Works, and I'm not going to mention the other show because, of course, this ain't about that show. And then also you can find This Woman Works on Spotify as well. I want to thank you everyone for tuning in. Of course, you can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Mike Patton 82. Yeah, I say the artist formerly known as Twitter because it ain't the same Twitter that I once knew, and that also I want to pay homage to Prince. Of course. So you can find me on there at Mike Patton 82, MikePatton 82. You can find me on Instagram and Threads at that's THA, not THE, _general_MP. Of course, This Woman Works. Go find it, go support it, like the channel or subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so you get all the notifications. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of This Woman Works. We're out. Peace.